water, cacao, matcha, whatever you're having. This is one of those sit down talks, and I gotta talk about what I experienced last night was really interesting. Okay, so get your goodies. We're gonna have a sit down spirit powwow, spirit talk time, and I got a funny feeling that I wasn't going to talk about it, and I said, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that." Blah blah blah, and then I was watching, oh gosh, Team Light Guy, and he was talking, and all of a sudden he said it. He says, "Sometimes when we share some of our past experiences, it helps somebody else," and I was like, "What are you doing in my head?" So I was kind of on the fence about it, but Spirit just kept encouraging me and saying it's not gonna create any kind of weirdness or anything. Just share it. So hold on, let me play my light. I don't know if I want that one. This one? No. No. I ain't gonna do this one. Okay. So I got my drink. I even went all the way up to Auburn and got some loaf bread, a yellow loaf cake that they make at IKEA's. IKEA, but it's not the other one. I was just listening to him, and then you came on. Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I tried to time it just right. Um, yeah, it's a good message. What his message is. I think I'm gonna pin it in a community. Also in the community, I put the song in the community. So I really was led to share this story. I think I've talked about it in some parts, and my friends that are my true friends, they know this story. Okay. So, Marty, if you want to finish watching him, you can finish watching him, huh? No problems. So, I got right to that point of sharing those things that we don't talk about. Yes. Yes. When he said it, I was like, okay, so now Spirit's telling me I need to say it. So, remember yesterday I told you I was all excited that I found my MP3 player. And I was asking you guys, does Philips still exist? Does Philips still? And everybody's like, no, Felicia, this Philips is gone. I'm like, oh really? So so I put the batteries in. He's recorded. I'll finish later. Okay, I put the batteries in, and I was like, okay, got my batteries in. I put my CD in. I pushed it down. And then I pushed the on and off button, pushed it on. And then it has DBB for deep bass sound. So I was like, oh, I can just go ahead and go with that. So I know I'm definitely dating myself. So this still works like I just bought it. No problems, no hesitation. This is the headset that goes with it, the listening thing. Still, like nothing happened. Like it was caught up in a time lock. And that was that. So I get in after I take a bath. That moon last night. This is why I'm saying everyone grab your tea. This is one of those spirit talks that's coming through, and we're gonna talk and share. And please, let's have the chat rolling with good things that you experience. Let's talk about it. There will be cards read so that we can stay on track. So far, one of the timelines that they were trying to implement did not take. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, we got it. It didn't take. So now they're back at the drawing board trying something else. So, staying on track. So I said, okay, I showed you guys this. the returning CD, and I put it in the community because it's on YouTube and you can listen to it. But first, I did the Shaman's Heart CD. You know, the kind that works with the right and left side of your brain. I got that one. It's called the Shaman's Heart, and boy, that one took me on a journey. The drums and rattles, and I was just like, oh yeah, I remember how good this one is. This is good. So then, now this is why I say the title that I said, Yemaya. I didn't know it was you. Okay. Now you have to keep in mind that I was married for those 4 years from 1996 to 2000. Okay. When 2000 came in, I left my ex husband and I went through the dark night of the soul. I mean, it was that timeline that I went through. I didn't think I was going to make it through there because I had loved him so much. And I really wanted to believe that people could change, that give people a chance to make a change, give him a chance to make a change. That he could become the light of himself. So in that journey, when I left him, I we were a part of a medicine circle. So at the time, I was staying on the land on this medicine circle. So when I actually tell you guys that my soul, the grief that I was going through, stick with this. There's medicine in this. This is not going through back in the past and all this. There's something really interesting happened last night, and the talk conversation I had with the goddess was just mind blowing. Okay, so there's medicine in this. So I remember when I came to that land and I said, I just got to get myself together. I gotta get my mind together. You know, I'm filing for divorce, and I took my ring off. They already had a fire. I threw my ring in the fire, and I was just in this. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and other things had transpired that really took me down that part of the dark night of the soul. Now, keep in mind, I knew I was gifted, but I did not know all of the different aspects of I shouldn't I all the different aspects of the goddess and all of the different cultures of the goddess. I was just coming out of the Catholic way, you know, and and then walking my path and learning about the Red Road. So when they said, yeah, we have a place, we could put you in the office thing that we built for so and so, and but since she's not going to be using it, you can go in there. Now, you know those construction trailers that you see when a new building is going up, they have those construction trailers sitting out there. You know those, right? That's what they set up for her for an office. So they let me stay in it. And whatever belongings I had, everything fit in there like a charm. I didn't have a bathroom in there, and I didn't have a way to do any cooking in there. So everything had to be done at the main house. So winter was coming, and I had to make the best of it. Now, keep in mind, I have no bed, but I have my buffalo robe, and I had some like foam bedding things and pillows, lots and lots of pillows. Had lots of pillows. So I go down to, I think it was Home Depot, Got two things of thick plywood. Got some big 4x4 things. I even went in there and told the guy, I need this mount cut for this mount. Put it in my car, juggled it up the hill, and went inside. And I made a pallet bed to sleep on. Literally, I was sleeping on 4x4s and pillows. And because we were hitting winter and it snowed where I was, the coldness would come up through the bottom of the floor. So I took um, those big lawn bags that you would gather up leaves and put in the plastic bag. I took those and stuck it into the pocket areas underneath the plywood so I would stay warm. And then I had all the pillows on top because my body felt so traumatized from what I was going through. It hurt to even like touch me, hug me, all kind of stuff. I was just like just lost. So I remember I was laying there. I had tea light candles. I would burn every single night because they had to figure out how to run a piece of electricity to that. So they got me an electrical cord that could pump in some heat. And then I burned tea light candles for light. And this MP3 player was a part of my life every single night. I would pop the song in. I would huddle underneath my buffalo robe. I would lay and say prayers. And I would say, help me understand this. Help me understand my purpose on this planet. Help me understand what love really is. Help me understand, what am I to do now? Help me understand this. And then on that timeline, it was like I was saying, I've lost everything. I've lost everything. You know, dark night of the soul. I was so in that place where every day I didn't know that if I was going to take myself out because the pain was so deep. And this is a heart to heart true medicine talk here. Okay, I'm saying it like it is. That's what that timeline was like. And I'm like, God dang. So I put the song in and I would hear the breath sounds. And I said, wow, it's so beautiful. And the way I found out about this song is I was in a bookstore at Cheshire Rose off of Fair Oaks in Sacramento. And they were playing this song in this metaphysical store. And I heard it. You're welcome. And I just remember I went up to the counter. What is this song? What is this CD? I need to have it. So I got the CD. So this CD, I played it every single night. So I was up there for 9 months till winter was gone and we got to late of spring. So midsummer I left. And this picture right here where you see the temple, this is the singer and she has a group of other singers with her. But this is the goddess laying down inside this temple where they were to sing this song, Returning. And I was like, just listening to it. And it says, let me read this to you. The concept of this tomb as a symbolic womb of rebirth was widespread throughout the Mediterranean world. So they're talking about this goddess tomb that was etched out of that one stone, how she's laying there. in that tune. Okay, so they went down there to go record this song and was singing it. So they went into what they called the oracle room and recorded the song in there. And you can tell it's all that limestone. Look how big that is. That's huge. Okay, so she's in there with other people singing a song. And I listen to the song and I just get carried away. Now, keep in mind, I'm not realizing what they're singing about. I'm just in the song because the song would help ease my pain. It would help me stop crying every single night. I start crying and I would go through the whole emotional thing. I'm purging and I'm like, why did this have to happen? I am so stupid. I fell for the blah blah blah. You know, the breaking down, the all of this stuff. I loved him. I would give, you know, all this stuff you go through. And I listened to that and it would soothe me. I go to sleep. And I had it set for, they had a button on here that says repeat, resume. I left it on that. So every time it would finish, it would roll back around and play again. And then I would wake up in the morning ready to start a new day, ready to move through something. So fast forward to now. So I go to bed last night. Okay. Already did the medicine bath. I think this was my surprise. Because the conversation I had was mind blowing. So I get in the bed. I put the CD in. I'm all tucked in. I got all my blankets up there, you know. I'm all tucked into my bed. And I hit play and kind of stutters a little bit. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I hit it again and kind of stutter. And then finally I hit it. And it goes into the first, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember that tone. And I'm laying there listening. And I just close my eyes and the moon is bright outside. So I got moonlight. I got just the moonlight light shining in the room. And I got my eyes closed. Said my prayers for everybody. Giving thanks for the day. And here it comes. They start singing the song. And as they're singing the song, this is what it means when you are on when you come out of your mundaneness. Okay, you are waking out of mundaneness. When you're awakened out of your mundaneness and you hit your higher self, you see things, you hear things differently, you see things differently, smell things differently, you taste things differently. Everything is different. Everything is like hypersensitive to you. You see it, you feel it. Okay, we're in this see it, feel it moment in all of us. All of us are going through this. So I'm laying there. And in the background of the songs, the first time ever, I literally hear the women, she only had maybe one or two of them, chanting the sacred names of the goddesses, calling them in. And I'm like, they were doing that in this CD? Calling in the goddesses? Oh my God. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. You could hear them chanting, saying their name. They were saying Artemis, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Hecate, Diana, Pele. They're calling the goddesses in, oh, I'm calling them in, I'm getting goosebumps. They're calling in all of this divine feminine energy. Okay? And I hear that, and I'm like, I did not know this CD had that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's the first one. So I'm laying there in awe. And so I'm like this in the bed. And I'm like, oh my God. So I closed my eyes and I said, okay, I'm going to go into spiral and journey. And let's just see where it goes. So I'm listening. And she's doing the tones. And then when the man's voice comes on and he says, Yemaya, and he's singing the song, the water song of Yemaya. And I'm like, that's who he's talking about? And I'm like, I had no idea that's who this was. I didn't know that. In this whole time I was listening to this CD through the dark night of the soul, because I was so fractured, so out of my mind. Because when you have a breakdown of the soul and you're out of your mind, you're fractured. Till you go through your healing period, come back to yourself, and you come back stronger. And I'm listening, and I'm like, and I'm laying there, and I get like overwhelmed. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, what? 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 And here it comes. I was with you then, and I'm with you now. Take a sip of your tea, please. So I got the earbuds in, and I'm all like, and it's not the words, because their song is going, but I heard another voice outside of what I was listening to. And now all of a sudden, as the CD is playing, Yamaye's face comes in to me. She says, let me show you how far you come. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I just start sobbing and I'm crying. And she takes me back when I bought the CD. And it's like I'm watching this whole time wheel of that timeline. And I'm like, oh my God. I had no idea it was you. I did not know it was you. For I didn't know who you were at that time. I didn't know. And so she's showing me everything I went through and how I would set everything. She showed me everything. How I would set things up, how I would tuck in underneath the buffalo robe, how I would lay there and feel as though I couldn't get breath and feel as though I wasn't going to make it. And then she showed herself through her eyes, how she came into the room. And she made the waters. And she was rocking me on the waters. Because I would lay there sometimes and I would say, God, it feels like my little palette is moving on water. She showed that. And she said, you were so heart-stricken. And you were so sad because you lost your mate. But he was not true to you, my dear. And you have to let him go. But that doesn't mean you let go of yourself. So she's showing me this picture of how she's rocking me on this water. Now keep in mind, I still do not know that this is the goddess Yemaya. I have no clue about the feeling that I'm feeling at the time when it's happening, but she is now showing it to me in this timeline, what happened last night, the whole conversation we had. And I was just, words couldn't even speak. I was just like, it was you. And she said, yes. It was me holding you, cradling you, because I didn't want you to give up. Because I wanted to let you know we were with you. You were not alone. And she went into this whole thing and she expanded it out into the cosmos, but still showing me that I was on that palette of water and showed the cosmos. And I was in the stars, and all of the elders and everyone are looking down on me. And I said, what a gift. I did not know it was you, because this planet shut us down so we don't know our ancestors and who we're connected to. So she says, this is one of the reasons why you have asthma, is because of what you came into this world with. And this is something we are going to heal now. You're ready. I was just like, what? And her voice was just so soothing as this man is singing the song and honoring her. She's singing it in a female tone, and I'm hearing it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm sobbing and I'm saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it just, the song keeps going and it goes into different octaves. And then you listen, and in the background, you hear, I could hear the women saying prayers, giving thanks, saying you're not alone. Words that were all in there. And I was like, oh my God. So she brings me back and she shows me laying in the bed. Got the earplugs in. I go, oh my God. And she's right at the side of my bed. She says, let this be known. Just because you don't know who we are doesn't mean we don't know who you are. We know you. We were just waiting to reconnect with you in a way that you would see us, feel us, and know that we're there. We're part of you. And I said, you know, I really didn't start learning about you until my friend Deb brought me a little statue of Yemaya. And I would see pictures, and I would do strange things on Saturday. I have to go to the water, but I wasn't putting it all together. And I was just like, she says, that was me. And then she showed me a time when I was upset because I had made a move, put stuff in storage, and the statue that Debbie gave me, I kept it in the car. And for some reason that day when I put everything in storage in Folsom, the star that she was holding broke off, and I never could find it. I tore that car up looking for the star to put it so I could glue it back on. I'm looking for the star. Where the hell's the star? Yemaya, she lost her star. So I sat it back in my little car dish, and she didn't have her star. I'm like, oh, I can't believe this. So I remember, and she showed this time. Yemaya showed this when I went down to Folsom Lake, and for I did a ritual where I took a seashell and I put honey in it, and then I just said a quick prayer, giving thanks for allowing me to have another day of life, to be where I am right now. That was on that timeline when I was in Folsom and doing all this stuff. And Deb kept talking to me because I kept telling her, weird things are happening. I keep, getting seashells, and I don't understand what I'm doing. And Deb cracked me up. She goes, girl, that's your ancestor trying to get in touch with you. Why aren't you paying attention? I said, she said, the Orishas, you know, the African gods. I'm like, oh, oh no, Deb. Can't mess around with them. They are too powerful. You've got to, I can't be getting my hands all in that. That's powerful stuff there. She goes, girl, what are you talking about? That's part of you. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I would just always get quiet about it. But she was always the one pushing it, saying, come on, come on. So after I did the ceremony, Yemaya is showing it. She showed me when I went back to the storage. It was like, that star was missing for over a year and a half. Never found it. Been going back and forth to the storage that whole time. Blah, blah, blah. But after I did this ritual and gave honor of that, just to say thank you, Mother of the Waters, thank you. Yeah. Keep it simple. I go back that day. For some reason, I look down, and there is that star on the ground in front of my storage. Now, you would think I would have saw it, I don't know how many times, 50, 60 times that I've been in and out of that thing. I would have saw that in front of that because I'm very Capricorn like. I'm always looking for stuff. I would have saw that. But on that day, there it was laying there like nothing. And I go, what the hell is this? And I lean down and I see the star and I see the hand holding, and I go, oh! And I open the car door, I grab the statue, and I take it and I go, oh, it's the star that was missing. Oh my God. And I get on the phone and I call Deb and I said, Deb, you're not going to believe that. So the whole time, Yami is showing me this whole thing. She watched the whole thing. And she's re-showing it to me again last night. And she says, that was my way of saying, hi, how are you? That was my way of saying, I brought you your light. Now you pieced yourself together again. And you're holding strong. And I start sobbing in bed again. And I'm like, ah! So music is going. And the chant is going. And she pulls back. And she shows everybody on the planet. And she says, you see them? They all don't realize we see them. They all don't realize we feel them. They all do not realize we hear them. But we are watching all of you and how beautiful you are grown. And some of you have had some very deep challenges and you didn't give up and you kept going. And she pulls back and comes back to my bed. And she goes, I'm so glad you found your music machine and you put the CD in. I just thought it would be a perfect opportunity to reintroduce myself, to let you know I've been there with you this whole time. And I'm just like, it's like, what do you say to that? What do you say? It was such a moment. So I feel her when she kind of pulls back and the music is still going. And what does she do? My bed starts waving. Like I'm on the waters. And I'm like, oh my God. She goes, yes, waters are coming, but it's to help cleanse and soothe and replenish all those who have lost, suffered, all those who hold grief and never could get over it. She says, we are here. She says, how do you feel now that you knew it's me? And they go, well, I guess it's a surprise. She starts to laugh. I start to laugh. I said, I said, can I share this tomorrow if I feel up to it? She goes, I don't want it to be like a downer type of thing, or I don't want the Be So Light family to think that this is like a poor me syndrome thing. She goes, no, 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 no. Share it because I showed you what you were then, where you are now, how much healing you've done. You're crying because of the fact you're honoring yourself to see it from a different perspective. You see it from the outside. You're witnessing it because you are no longer the one on the inside of it. And I was like, oh my God. I said, wow. Thank you so much for this gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had no idea it was you. I did not know. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I'm glad we had this moment. Now I'll let you sleep and listen to your song. And I want you to know this. You're on the higher timeline. All of you that created the higher timeline, you did it. Just stay in it. Live in it. Create from the flow of your hearts. And as she's kind of moving back, I'm feeling her kind of distance out, and I'm like, wait, don't leave. I'm kind of like, don't leave. And she goes, I'm always here. Remember, even when you don't know us, we know you. So I listened and kept my eyes closed, and I let the song and how the man was chanting and let it all just come in and just be in the moment. And I was just like, after the song played, I sat up. It was 11:11, okay, when it was done. Because I was like, dang. And I remember I looked at it and I said, who would have ever guessed that this circular device would have a doorway to connect in the most surprising way and still works like if it's brand new. And I just remember sitting there saying, wow, how many of us have gone through Dark Night of the Souls? And I remember this one thing. She brought this one voice of myself through, and she says, I want you to hear yourself. And it was my voice that said, I want to make sure that when I get through with this, whatever is happening to me, I'm able to help others of whatever they're going through. Because I already did the medicine. I already went through it. Now I have something that I can give to help them heal. Because I already went through it. So, lovelies, I sit here before you humbled in my heart, peaceful, and feeling that timeline completely gone. Feeling like the essence of Wonder Woman. Today I was blasting that song while I was in the car. Me and the young one were driving the Wonder Woman theme song. Dun, 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 dun. You know, the drums are going, and if somebody was slow in front of me, I turn it up a little bit and said, let's get some drumming energy going on the back end here. Hello. And they were increasing their speed. And I was just thinking about what time I wanted to come on to talk about this. And I was already talking to Marty, and I was telling her, yeah, I had a pretty interesting night last night. I talked with a goddess. And she goes, do you want to talk more about that? And I was like, oh, I'm going to do a video on it. And I just was like, it's just, you know, when you're going through your spiritual journey, we all have this thing of what it should look like, what it should feel like. I'm this, I'm that, I can do this, I can do that. And we go through these labels of ourselves. But really, when you get down to it, it's all about, why are you here? remember why you're here. And it's the journey of all the things that you go through to get to where you are right now. But you don't see all the stuff that's supporting you, because when you're going through the dark night of the soul and when you're breaking down and you lose your mind and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm out of here. You're going through all of these emotions, and you come to a place where you have to surrender to that part of yourself. You have to surrender to the pain. You have to surrender to the sadness, the grief. Because in order for you to heal, you have to embrace it. That's how you heal. You embrace it long enough to be the cure to yourself. You embrace it long enough to strengthen yourself. And I don't think I'm ever going to forget last night how I put that CD on, and what the hell happened? The door had opened. These are the times we are living in, where they are so right there. There's nothing really separating us anymore. They're right there. And there's so much that all of us are here to do. And that experience last night was just mind blowing. So I had to come on here and share that. Let me go back. You're always, always, always on time with the message. Thank you so much for sharing this message. Oh, Nikki, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome, Cody of Harmony. Oh, Codes of Harmony says, thank you for all that you are. Thank you for staying here with the collective. Yes, gosh. Oh, my gosh. When you love someone, they take you down that road. She has been guiding us in meditation through you. You know what? I think she has. A few lives ago, I can't remember which one, but I seen her as you led me in a meditation, but didn't know her name. So I Googled the woman wearing the blue. Yes, yes, yes. I was meant to be here. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Star Sister. You're welcome. I found that she had puddles of water around her, but it appeared to be little whirls she was pouring from her bucket into them after sharing at with the most beautiful eyes. Yes! Hi, hi, greetings, greetings. You're talking about my favorite dear mother, Yemaya. Yes! I'm telling you, I love you, Dad. Deb on the other side. I think she was really happy because she was able to witness that Yamiye came in my space last night. And, you know, a lot of times we don't know. We don't know who's helping, keeping you going, who's flipping that coin of time, and they're flipping it and say, okay, here's your time. Who's changing that? Who's on your support team? And who's doing that? So this is like this opportunity time with that moon, the way it came in and how strong it was, to go through that part of the self where you witness that, and then to have her actually talking to me, She's always here. And when we're in our most darkest moments in our lives, we can say the 4 years of the shenanigans that all of us went through was like the dark night of the soul. And now we're seeing so much light. We're seeing and questioning everything now. What's the truth of everything? And you know what it is also? To be a divine feminine energy. Those of us that are divine feminine beings walking around in our suits, we are witnessing, thank you, the undoing of the woman that had been covered up. And we're pushing through that. And in our emergement, as we emerge to the surface of our true innate selves, connected 360 degrees in our blood, in our DNA, to those ancestors who came before us, that are living in our bones, to remind us we're not alone, to remind us of our medicine, to remind us of our divine magic, to remind us of our true innate being of who we are, to remind us not to settle, not to settle. It's okay to say no to that because that's not what you really wanted. But don't say yes to it because you're settling, because you didn't get what you really wanted. So I really take from that experience and I wanted to share it with all of you because I know some of you, you you see me talking and things are coming through, and I try not to like be any way disrespectful to them, the Orishas, or any other ancestors on the native side, the indigenous side, all the way down, because it's there. And this is for everyone, especially women. This is that time. Like, you'll never ever see those of us that are living right now. We are the risers. We are the keys right now. We are the ones anchored to Mother Earth right now in a very sacred way. And the things that we do when we come together, where we support one another, and we do not tear each other down, we do not judge each other, we support one another in all that you are. This is not a color thing. This is not a race thing. This is a divine feminine energy thing of connection. Because in unity is where we unite and we remember who we are. We remember the sacred songs that we would sing and chant in the temples. We will remember the sacred songs when you're at the waters and you're in the waters, the songs of the waters that come up. Those of us that have the myrrh people in our blood. Those of us that know your myrrh and you can't be out of water too long, that's why your butt's in the bathtub. Have you ever noticed that? You start getting really super stiff and you're stiffening up and skin's getting drier and you're like, gotta get in the water. You gotta put salt in there like crazy. Season it well. And then you get into the water and you soak into the waters and your body starts to come alive. It gets recharged. Starts to feel good again. Until you go too long without being in the water and you gotta do it all over again to sustain yourself. So I invite each and every one of you to please take the moment, take the time to, what did I do with the thing? Oh, here it is. To listen to this song. Close your eyes when she's singing it and turn it up. If you have headphones, put the headphones on and listen to it. Set things aside, get quiet, light a candle for yourself, have a glass of water off to the side, or if you want to listen to it in the bathtub, do that too. Because this song is so coded to the awakening. When she's talking about returning, she said, we're returning back to the mother of us all. Returning. Returning. Back to the mother of us all. And one of the things I always talk about in Spiral Light, when we're going through and we're clearing and working through the chakras, I always talk about that water star. None of us could come here, be here, unless we came through the water star, the sacred waters of our mother's belly. That's the first water that we're in contact with. The first water of the two cells that merge together that gives the power to create a human being, or a living being, I should say. It's all immersed in that sacred water. That water is that charge that gives the life force. It charges it. So, yeah. I'm still, when I think about it, I still kind of get a little teary-eyed because I wasn't expecting that. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna listen to my CD and got my earphones in and I'm just clicking away and I'm just having a good time. Got, oh yay! And then all of a sudden I'm like, he's having a moment, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, how did I miss that? I don't understand. And then to hear her voice come in, I was like, oh, that's not on the CD. Wait a minute, that's outside. What? So please make time. Listen to it. Especially if you're going through something and you feel like you're at the tail end of whatever your journey is right now and you're feeling like, oh my god, I can't take this anymore, or you're feeling overwhelmed, but please take the time and listen to that, and you're welcome. That was so beautiful. Made me cry and let me know yes, that's what she does. Sometimes, if you listen to it and you're laying in your bed, just pay attention, connect, and literally you're going to fill your bed waving like waters. It was just, I was just like, oh, there's that feeling. The whole bed was like, I was just like, it's in those moments when you really are sitting in who you are, you're the truth of yourself. And when you have those connections like that it just makes you that much more appreciate and be in love with the self and say, okay, I'm doing it right. I'm here. I'm showing up. How can I help? That's what it's all about. And as we heal our ancestry, we're healing ourselves. We're healing the collective as a whole. So the medicine for us as divine feminine representing that, it's going to get a little bit stronger. But that's okay. Because we got a whole lot of support to help us move through, anchor in. Because this is not about just us now. No, we're doing this for the future, for the young ones to come. Because this time, we're making it right. So thank you for sharing. Oh, yeah. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to do the card read. Pull cards for today. Today is Yamaya's day. It's also the day of Saturn. Um, yeah, I think she's Saturday. She's on a Saturday. Pretty sure. So today we're on Yellow Lunar Human, guided by flowering. So remember, this month really stands out with empower, command, and radiance. What are you commanding into your life? What's that commanding energy? What are you commanding? So I said I wanted to do the water temple. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. And we're going to start off first with the Oracle of the Universe. It was like, kind of like expanding how, on the front of this, how you see the expansion here. I was laying like in the middle of that. And this was like her showing me that. It's kind of like that. Now when I look at that picture, I was like, oh yeah, it was like that. So, let's take a look. Oh, hold on a second. Hello. Hold on a second. Universe is moving. I wonder why. I have a small statue of Yemaya on my altar in my bathroom and was decorated blue and had pictures of my mom. Yes! I am. There's the Botanica that has a really big, pretty picture. And by the way, hold on a second. Really big statue, about like, probably about like this, of Yemaya. Now, when I went to New Orleans, before they had the, I think it was after Katrina, yeah, it was after Katrina. Um, when I went to New Orleans, I remember we went to a Britannica out there, and there was this, and it was so funny because I was like, where is, Alicia had asked at the time, she goes, where's the place where we can get candles and herbs and stuff? And the cab driver says, oh, that's the Botanical down off of blah, blah, blah. It's not there anymore. This weird things that happen. Um, and I said, oh, well, let's go there. So we went to the Botanica, And guess who greets us at the door now? I remember is he had a life statue size of Yemaya statue. And I remember I stopped and I went, oh my God, so pretty. Oh, I took a picture of it. And I was just like, oh my God, she's so pretty. And the store was just awesome. The store was like every candle you could think of, every oils, smells. It was so yummy in there. And the family was really, really nice. And then I think something had happened. The father had passed away, and they no longer could keep the business going, and so they had to close it. And a lot of times people don't realize when you go into a Botanica and candle stores or crystal stores, the ones that are the keepers of that space, they hold it as a part of portals of remembrance to help people get back to themselves. That's what those stores are. They're portals to awaken you. It might be you need to just hear a simple statement, hear a song, smell a certain herb, something of that sort that's going to jog a memory, that's going to bring in something to help you to remember that. Ah! I said, okay. So I was, it was some art I purchased. That was beautiful. Thank you. I would love to go to New Orleans. Oh my gosh. And you should have your head covered when entering a botanical. Yeah, I always did. Didn't even know that. Yes, always did. Always had my head covered up when I go in. Even if I go in a crystal shop, I always have my head covered up. Always. Because you just never know who's going to be trying to tap into your space. They see who you are, and they see what you have, and they want to tap in. And I don't have a problem. You gonna tap in? I'm gonna be like, "What you looking for? Why are you up in here? Get out of here!" They don't expect you to call them out when they're in there. Remember what I said? They feel like a spider crawling on your head or a bug on your head. Yeah, someone tapping in, trying to. Okay, this is a she tarot. Yeah, always have your head covered. Even when you're doing really um, powerful prayer work, and you want to make sure um, when you go out to groceries and stores around people, you want to protect that crown. You know, you just have to, especially now, because the energies are so accelerating right now, and timelines, man. So I share that with all of you because some of you are going to have a moment where you get to um, look at a past timeline. You don't interact with it. You get to review it. You get to see that old timeline and where are you now. You get to see what you were learning in that timeline, who you were connected to in that timeline, who was behind you in that timeline. So don't be shocked if all of a sudden, you know, you're doing fine, all of a sudden something comes up from a memory and you're like, why am I thinking about that? And then all of a sudden it shifts from you looking at it like a movie. Okay? That's the review. It's called the timeline review. Okay? Okay. Cool. 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 Interesting. This is so cool. This is a good read. Okay, Messages from the Stars, number 32, Constellation. Cortex is Southern Cross, the signal. Look at it. It's indigenous. The indigenous ones. I like that. That's pretty cool. Then we go into the waters. Number 10, Sacred Springs, Vitality. I dance towards the light. I dance towards the light. That's pretty. It's interesting. She's in the water, but the light's right there. She's dancing in the water. Kind of like that's what's happening now anyway. The next card from the water cards, the mist. Trust your inner compass. Be led from within. Trust your inner compass. Be led from within. Look at that light. Some of you see a lot of lights in different ways and don't realize it. What you're seeing is that divinity. The connection. This is the crystal grid. Having the connection. And it's a number 42. And then from the dragons, we have, it looks like it's Michael. I cannot say that last name to save my life. There we go. 14. It says, has spoken, I am the light in the darkness. I will guide you back to divine love. All lower energies must bow before my powers. So when I see this now, because I very much so was, I was sent the brother Yosef. He has a YouTube channel here. He's very metaphysical, very spiritual. Talks about everything, left side of the path, right side of the path. And one of the things he was talking about was the Luciferians, the difference between Luciferians and satanics people, and who was satanic. And he was saying the demos represented more of the satanic. They were more satanic in that energy. And then the Luciferians are more like with Trump energy. And I'm like, oh God, where are we going with this? And as he explained it, I was like, that makes sense why I was watching that Constantine cartoon, because they had it in animation. And I was looking at it. I think it's on Tubi. I think it's still there. Constantine. And there's a scene in that where he's visited by Lucifer. But it's not a he, it's a woman. And I was like, oh no, don't tell me this is another one that was covered up. It's, you know what? It's like this. Every time we turn a corner, we find out something else. Are you starting to feel like that? Are you starting to feel like every time you tap in, you find out something else? Oh, it was once a lie, but this is really the truth. I'm like, oh God. Ugh. And it's now you know why they call it the awakening. It's awakening out of the illusion and out of a bad nightmare. That just kept going on and on and on and on and on. So, some of us in number 10 from the She Tarot don't want to feel overloaded. How can you release that? Don't feel overloaded. Release that. And then the last one from the She Tarot is stay rooted. Going back to the roots. Roots of the memory, roots of love, roots of emotions of self, roots of creation. Going back to the roots of that. That's a really good read. So yeah, the whole Lucifer thing, and and when he said he wasn't a fallen. And I was thinking about, I'm like, that's right. I said, well, wait a minute. He was the most, I keep seeing, that's what doesn't make sense. Okay, there we go. I just had an aha moment. They would always say and label it in the Bible that Lucifer was this most beautiful angel. So look how they would say that, but they never identified it as she was the most beautiful of the angels. Gotta take a drink on this. Thank God for cacao. But look at that. Think about it. You don't. I don't know about you, but I don't go up to a guy and I go, God, you're so beautiful. I always go up to a guy and say, damn, you're so handsome. You look so, warrior like. Oh gosh, you look good. You look handsome. Look very charming. Those are words that you say to a male being. You don't just walk up, gosh, you look so beautiful. Right there in front of our eyes. Isn't that sad? Yeah, the root cards. That's pretty. So, I really hope that my story, that journey, that timeline, I'm glad that door is closed. I'm glad I made it through that with the support that introduced itself. And it's times like that, and I know a lot of us have been there, where you don't see, when's it going to get better? Is this it? Is this the way it's always going to be? This is terrible. This is it. So when we come to that place and when you finally see yourself and you reach that outer rim coming out of it, always give thanks for the ones that see you, that were there for you. They didn't up and just leave because it was too complicated. They didn't want to be bothered with you because now you're not what you used to be because you had something happen in your life. I had that happen too because it was like people didn't want me to be in that grief, but I had to go through it. Because now, anybody else that has that, when I say, oh, been there, done that, let's talk about it. When I say that to a client and they have the similar story, I got the medicine. I'll walk you through the plan. I'll walk you through the plan of corrections so you can implement it into your divine curriculum. Because it's all about that divine curriculum. Whee! So, Any questions? Anything on the mind? Everybody good? I'm so grateful I was able to sit and do that. I almost didn't want to do it because I said, nah. And then Team White Guy, he made that statement. I go, get out of my head. But I'm so grateful I sat here and really talked to all of you about that. And like I said, all because of an MP3 player. Now, y'all don't judge me now because I got my MP3 player. It still plays. Watch somebody come on and say, do you want to sell it? No, I'm not selling it. I am not selling you my MP3 player. No, I'm sorry. I don't know what other portals it might open to where I might want to go back and look at something, but that one seems like it's good. I said, yes, I got your email. Hold on. We're going to wait a few more days to see if we're going to have more signups. So I left the signups in the community for our 3-day course that starts on the 20. Uh-oh. I just forgot. I forgot when the course started. Marty! Are you in the house? We put it together. It starts on the 20. I got it on my calendar. 22nd. I almost said 22nd. Yeah, it starts on the 22nd for 3 days. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's 2 hours a day. I put it in community. It's 111. And you're going through and clearing chakras, getting rid of some things. Now, if we don't have a lot of signups, we're probably going to push it out into 12/12. That's another date time that feels really good. So I'm going to say this here just in case. If we don't have a lot of signups, then we'll push it out to 12/12. And we'll use, that portal day to start the work and do the work on that. Okay? So no panic. So Shay, hold on, okay? I got your email, but hold on. Don't panic. We'll have it going. All right. Anyone else? Everyone's good. I hope everyone's doing well where you are. So the whole thing is to remember who you are. And I remember, I'll share this really quick. You know how you're going through those moments and the shit's hitting the fan and you're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. And I remember coming across the causeway coming into Sacramento. I was coming, I think I was coming, from my parents' house or something. And I was coming home back to Sacramento area. And I was having a moment where, was it a job thing? I can't even remember if it was a job thing or something. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do something. And I remember I stopped the car on the side of the road on that causeway going into Sacramento. And I remember I'm sitting on the little edge of the car, just sitting there, and I was in deep thought, and I think I was crying or something. And the radio did this weird clicking sound, and this song came on. And this song is by, oh God, what is that guy's name? Gabriel. I think it's Gabriel something. And the song went into this beautiful lyrics about this man who thought he was by himself and he was standing on that edge, and the voice came to him to say, no, this is not the answer. This is not the answer to Don't Give Up. That's the name of the song. Thank you. I was all like, what's the name of the song? Don't Give Up. And I was listening to that, and that song came on, and it was singing in such a way that whatever I was pondering, whatever I was feeling, went shoot like that. And I remember saying, wow, that was like perfect timing to hear that song. I never heard that song before. Listen to this radio station all the time. I've never once heard that song. And then out of this moment came this song. So pay attention. You know what I'm talking about when you're going through something and all of a sudden something weird happens either to the TV or to the radio. They have the ability to affect all that, and they got to get the message to you. It's just a flick of their coin. They go, okay, time is now. And they get the message to you. If you want to watch something that's a really trippy movie, like I said, Winter's Tale, A Winter's Tale is a good one. That's a tearjerker, especially towards the end, because you really start to understand about spirit guides, what the light and the dark is all about. It really paints a good narrative picture about it. A Winter's Tale. Um, that's a good movie. And then another one is called The Adjustment Bureau. The Adjustment Bureau. And it's all about time jumping, going through doorways, time jumping, and changing an event. But the ones that are chasing these two people are trying to keep them from coming together, because if they come together, it changes something. So the Adjustment Bureau. Now the Adjustment Bureau is a little bit kind of on the creepy side, because it shows them, the bureau controllers of the time, wearing these nice little suits and nice hats, and they're able to jump through the doors, timelines, and change stuff. So those are some good ones to watch. So you can sit back and kind of decode that and look at that one. So life's been hectic. Yes, I know. You know what? When your life is hectic, and you, especially when you're healing, that's when you really want to shield and guard up your space more. That's when you really want to take care of yourself. Anytime when you're dealing with surgeries, oh, thank you. This is a good one to share. When you're dealing with surgeries, when you're dealing with, even if you go into the dentist to get a dental thing done, that is someone invading in your space. Okay, someone's in your auric field, someone's in your space. So you have to make sure you caretake yourself well with cleansing, smudging yourself, cutting the cords, the hooks of whoever was in your space when they were doing the procedures. It's the same when you go in for surgeries. Um, I would always witness things like this when I was working in the hospitals. I would watch when someone would have a heart surgery done, how invasive. This is such a divine space. And if you get someone else in that space, they have to be in a very uplifting space. You can't have a doctor in this space with anger, because then that's heavy energy on a person's heart. And I would always wonder, when a person would have heart surgery, where was the frame of mind with the doctor? Was the doctor nourished? Did the doctor have enough sleep? Was the doctor in a good place to do the surgery? Is the doctor having any habits, secret habits he doesn't want people to know about? And he's doing the surgery. When you have the back surgery, the back is broken up into, you have the atlas here, the cervical, then you have thoracic, then you have lumbar, then you have sacral. Okay, So each one parts of those group sections um, coincides with the body. Okay, so it coincides with the body. So when you have that surgery, it can interfere with the healing in the body. Does that make sense? Also, okay. So think about that when you have those surgeries. This is when you have surgeries, you should have a medicine person that has that holds a space for you, or your medicine team, a family that's holding space for you when you have surgery. Okay. Um, surgery, brain surgery is the same way. Um, back, heart, brain. Those three can leave portals, tears in the auric field. Um, I got a tickle. Okay. Hysterectomies, C sections. That's a cut. That's abrasive, pulling up, lifting up of the womb. Okay. So this whole section needs to have the medicine for the cleansing, moving things out. Um, especially if you have two doctors that are working on you here. Okay. Um, especially if it's a man. Not saying anything against it. It's just the woman's body is the sacred, the sacred temple. So when you have abrasive energy that comes in and is not in balance with woman, it causes unhealthy healing. Um, you didn't heal right, something happened. Um, something's always off down there because whoever was in your space, they weren't sitting in the right space when they did it. Does that make sense? This is something I will have in my teachings of the medical intuitive spiral light teaching, because it's all about those little things that we kind of take for granted. It's the same thing if you went in for eye surgery, and if the person who's doing it, whatever they're using to replace, how what was their energy like when they were in this part of your body, because this and this are connected. They are a triangle. And then it titrates down, comes into the heart space. It's the same thing if you do a organ transplant. Now, I saw some really interesting things with organ transplants. And I would listen to the families, how they would say, you know, Mike just hasn't been the same since he had a heart transplant. And I go, how so? Well, he was never a smoker. Now he smokes. I'm like, huh? Yeah, he just started smoking out of the blue. Or Susie just had a liver transplant. Okay. She doesn't seem like Susie. Okay. She's different. What is the difference is when you have these surgeries, you're wide open. You're asleep. Especially now, right now, you got to be really cautious because these beings are looking to hijack bodies like crazy cuts. Their time is up. So you really have to be on your A game if you're going to have surgery. Know who's doing the surgery. What time of the day are you getting it done? Is it going to be in the morning or is it going to be late in the afternoon? You might not want it. Who exactly is going to be doing the surgery? Um, and what type of medicines are going to be used? Who's the anesthesiologist? Are they in a good mood? And I am a stickler for this. If I'm going in for some kind of surgery and you can't get that IV right and you're poking me all over the place and you're getting frustrated, I will call it off. I will say, not a good time. I don't want to do it. Not a good time. So think about all of those things when you're saying you're going to go in for a surgery. It is your right to be able to say that, to be able to look at that. Okay? Just be aware of that. And really take care of yourself after you've had surgery. Sage that area well. Keep saging yourself. Moxa is a good one to use because that's used in acupuncture. But the plant of mugwort is so healing to help with healing and sealing of the auric field. So it doesn't become a portal where you're constantly draining out of energy. Okay? Same thing when you get tooth extractions. That's abrasive. Yanking. Oh, you just made a hole there. So just remember that. Okay? All right, lovelies. I'm going to reheat up my water. Thank you. All great advice. I haven't had surgery as of yet, but all that is important. Yes. Yes. Say. Just be aware of that. It's the same thing also when you fall, hit head, hips, land wrong on the body. Those are now a rip in the auric field. Just like this. There's a rip in the auric field. You got to take care of that. You got to seal that up. Make sure that it's not accessible. Okay? Wherever you have a weakness in the body, that's a target to get into, to anchor in. So it's always important when you see a healer or you're asking for some healing work to let that healer know, oh, I had an injury, blah, blah, blah. And since I had that injury, I haven't been right or not healing right or this is happening, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So always make sure you bring that up with if you're seeing a healer. Let them know that. So, everyone be good to themselves. Much love to all of you. I will talk to you later. I'll see you soon. Bye.